welcome to a daily devotion. I'm Pastor Melissa, and it's so good to spend this time with you. I've been trying to think of some things that are one and done. If I start at the beginning, there was my birth. It was the one-time experience for me. Now, it wasn't necessarily for my mom because I was the last of 5 children. And I only had one child, but I'm guessing that every birthing experience is probably a little different. So let's say that birth is one of the few things that once it is done, it can't be undone or repeated. And for that matter, I think we can put death in that category too. It certainly is not something that can be reversed or revised. If anything has a finality to it, death would be it, right? So with these broad concepts in mind, that birth and death are the only events in our lives that we don't ever get a do-over. Let's look at today's scripture. 1 Timothy 2:1. First of all, I urge that supplications, prayers, and intercessions and thanksgiving be made for everyone. You know, we might be able to say that growing up is something we only have to do once. But I don't think that is true. We may only have to do middle school once, but we may know folks that didn't ever grow beyond it. They may continue to drag us into their drama. I think growing up has such a long arc that we learn some lessons many times over. So each time we encounter certain parts of ourselves that are so stubbornly hardwired into our psyche, we chip away at the same shortcomings many times over. We have to visit well-worn character defects again and again. And so, my friends, our good advice from the scripture here is to take a daily dose of God in prayer, in humility, in concern for others, and in gratitude. If we don't, we'll keep living in the cycles of self-defeating immaturity. Daily quiet time with God is the way to break that cycle. The noise of our culture and our circumstances, our worries, and our responsibilities will muddy up all the lessons that God has embedded in our path. And you know, on the other side of that, I had a privilege of traveling to Alaska a few years ago. It was definitely a life-changing experience for me to see a glacier. I realized I was looking at the earth being formed right before my eyes, literally terra firma. It was primordial and profoundly spiritual experience in my life, where I might never have the opportunity to visit Alaska again. I certainly hope that that is not the last or only time that I get to see the grandeur of God's handiwork so boldly displayed. Our eyes and heart have to be tuned to see God in the smallest wonders. A bumblebee with its pollen socks on, or the promise of resurrection in the ways that the forest returns after a devastating fire. In that daily dose that opens our hearts and minds to the ways God is moving, it prepares us to receive the glorious display of God's beauty that is infused in every single moment of our existence. I hope I am preaching to the choir because you are listening to this devotion. How I pray that everyone is buoyed up by this time together and better equipped to receive God's teaching and God's glory in sweetly digestible moments today.